Welcome back to another episode of Down in 216, hosted by your boy Will here, man. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling today as we get into another interesting video topic? I know y'all ain't seen my face in a minute. I've been in the middle of moving and getting my life together. Still not no excuse. I should be able to drop videos, but I just haven't had like the time to be able the opportunity to sit back and record. Now I have kept up with my Browns. I'm very active on Twitter. Make sure y'all follow me on Twitter. It's a little bit easier for me to shoot a quick tweet out on how I feel about something rather than making a whole video about it. But I gotta just get more consistent. That come down to me at the end of the day. But nonetheless, I want to come in here and talk about this Cleveland Browns team and their quarterback situation. I feel like this is a very controversial topic. If you go back and look at some of my videos that I dropped maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, I pretty much predicted everything that was gonna happen right here. I said it. I said that the Browns overdrafted Dylan Gabriel. I said he was a bad pick. I said he shouldn't have been drafted. We should have took Shedeur there in the 3rd round. We could have got an offensive lineman here in the 5th round, or maybe a wide receiver would have panned out and worked. I doubt it. I don't think it's really a lot of good wide receivers in this draft. So maybe an offensive line we could have picked up or another body. But nonetheless, I think then getting Dylan Gabriel was not a good idea, especially when you still got Shedeur Sanders. I can see if you didn't get Shedeur Sanders, but Shedeur is better than Dylan Gabriel. If I'm at the guy sitting at home, what I'm saying, can say that, why can't the people that's getting paid millions of dollars see it? I feel like you watching this video probably would have thought, hey, yeah, Shedeur Sanders is probably going to be better than Dylan Gabriel. And why did the Browns not see that? So keep that in mind as we going through this video of their decision making and what they do with the quarterback room. They really don't know what they're doing. I don't think. I think it's anybody's guess of what the Browns are going to do. But what I will say is that they are pretty bad at developing quarterback. They're pretty bad at picking quarterback. They're pretty bad at quarterback. They fail quarterback every year. They always make the wrong decision. Even when they do make the right decision, they fuck it up. Look at Baker Mayfield. Everybody says, hey, let's get a quarterback this draft, and we got to get Mendoza. And okay, cool. But let's look at the draft where we had the first pick in the draft last time, man. It was Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold, all in that same draft, And we ended up with Baker. What did we do with Baker? We kicked Baker out of Cleveland. So my point is, it's all about situations. And I think that you can't, no matter what talent or what player is brought into Cleveland, if they're not built and developed the correct way, they're never going to work out here. I don't care if you drafted Pat Mahomes here. I don't care if you drafted Josh Allen here. They will never reach their full potential playing out with the Browns until they get, I think a better head coach, offensive coordinator, and a better coaching staff around these players. I think that's going to be the first step in the right direction. I think Kevin Stefanski needs to go. Before we even have this conversation on if we're going to draft Fernando Mendoza, or if we're going to keep Shedeur Sanders, if we're going to go Dante Moore. Shout out Dante Moore. I didn't realize he was from EC. He from East Cleveland. Shout out Dante Moore. But yeah, I think it's very interesting, to say the least, what the Browns are going to do. Now, Shedeur Sanders is coming off probably his worst game. I feel like it's kind of disingenuous to say stuff like that when we got to know what's going on. Like, Shedeur is going out there trying to play to win. So he's not playing conservative. He's not playing like he cares about throwing an interception. He's planning to go out there and win. So when you're down 14-0, you're already putting yourself in a spot. You run the ball, it's not working. You run, pass, run, pass. And now you're in, it's 28-6, and the game is pretty much over in the 3rd quarter. And now you're playing hero ball. When the defense is playing against hero ball, in preventive situations already, you're trying to take chunks because you're down 28 to 6. So, and it's not to mind you, a rookie in his fourth game. Like, I'm not making an excuse for anything, but I think context matters with a lot of stuff. When he just threw for 364 last week, everybody said it was the Titans. Like, the Titans was a bad defense. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to say the least. I think that the Browns have a lot of holes. You got to look at, like, let's look at Quishon Jenkins. You can make an opinion about Quishon Jenkins right now that he's not going to be that good if you really wanted to. He's averaging like 3.6 a carry. He's not getting no touchdowns. He had one good game with a whole bunch of rushing touchdowns against the Dolphins. And outside of that, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. Um, so he needs like 25 carries to get 80 yards. Like, that's not good, dog. And you could say, hey, Quishon is not good. But look at his offensive line. Look at the run blocking. We got some of the worst run blocking in the league. We have the worst tackle play in the National Football League. How much do you expect to get out of this offense? What will put in Fernando Mendoza with the worst offensive tackle play the worst, yeah, I said it right, the worst offensive tackle play in the league. What would put him in that situation do for him? Is that going to be the best situation to see him reach his potential? Is he not going to look as good? And then we're going to kick him out the city, and then he could go somewhere just like Baker did and look a little bit better, because Baker is definitely, regardless of him having a couple bad games here this season, he has looked a lot better. So I think that first thing we got to do is address the coaching situation before we could address the QB room. Now, what I would do, and I think the smartest thing to do is to trade back. Now, I say trade back. Maybe you could get a trade with the Jets or somebody that's looking for a quarterback, and you could trade back with them, get their next year first round pick, and now you still got the Jaguars first round pick. You trade back to like the 9th pick in the draft, and you got another first round pick next year. So you're just gathering talent. We're already planning to move the team to Brook Park. So you know what I'm saying? We're in the league of building right now. I would trade back, honestly, and I would take Cardinal Tate or an offensive tackle. With that like 9th, 8th, 7th pick in the draft, probably Cardinal Tate or somebody like that. And then I would go, you got the Jaguars pick up another tackle. You got your pick. So you're going to have picks in this draft. So then next year, you come out with Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, Dylan Gabriel to back both of them up and be like a third-string quarterback. And if Deshaun Watson is good enough, you give him an opportunity. If Shedeur Sanders have improved and look better than Deshaun Watson, you go with Shedeur Sanders. And Shedeur Sanders get his full year to see if he could pretty much be the franchise QB of this team. And I think the season after that is where he'll be eligible for an extension. So, we're going to see Shedeur come out and already have a great defense to play with. It's going to be the rookie defensive player of the year, the back-to-back sack leading Myles Garrett. So they're going Denzel Ward. And then they'll probably pick up somebody else. JOK could come back. Carson Schwarzenegger, I already said his name. Grant Delpit. Like, you got a team with this defensive group. You could grab a couple linebackers if you need to. You could grab a couple. You got Campbell now for the long term. So you could grab some pieces if you really wanted to, but you don't need to at the same time. Unless you wanted to, go like a RVL Reese or somebody like that. I wouldn't be mad at that either. That'd be pretty nasty. But to say the least, I think it'd be smarter to get as much offensive line tackle play talent as possible. I would grab 2 in the first round. I wouldn't be mad at it. But, maybe they go and grab 1 first round and then another 1 second round. But we need as many offensive tackles as possible, including with DeJuan Jones. Like, DeJuan Jones needs to be like our plug-in guy, not the guy that he's relied on. He's right now our number 1 tackle. That's not okay. We need him to be like our second or third best tackle. Because if we could have, whatever what they going to do with Jack Coughlin, but we could have DeJuan Jones be like our second or third best tackle. So then now when he gets hurt, it's not like such a detriment to the team. So detrimental figures. Make sure y'all shop my brand, that fig. But yeah, man, I think it's gonna be a lot smarter just to trade back and accumulate talent. They're picking Fernando Mendoza. Now, if you want to go in the business of picking Fernando Mendoza, I would take him and I would trade Shedeur Sanders. And I would try to get maybe like a second, if possible, or a third for Shedeur Sanders. Um, and then go pick up another offensive tackle or a wide receiver there at that spot. That's the way I would go about it, though. I think it'd be pretty weird to have Shedeur trying to keep Mendoza out. So now, what if Shedeur just improves? Then you trade Mendoza for a second. So I just think that's a weird situation to be in that early in their careers. So I just want that's what locker room wise I wouldn't recommend that. So I think if you take Mendoza, you move on from Shedeur and try to replace Shedeur with an offensive tackle or a weapon for Mendoza. So they already got a good running back room, good tight end room. So now they just need some wide receivers and some offensive tackles. So we're gonna see, man. Y'all comment down below how y'all feel about it as this upcoming game against the Bills. I'm gonna try to get some more content out for y'all this week. It's your boy Will. I'm out. Peace.